Welcome, everyone. The college baseball experience on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by our World Cup Survivor Pool. A $25 entry winner will take all in the cash prize. SportsGamblingPodcast.com/splash. And welcome back into a brand new episode of the College Baseball Experience. My name is Noah Bieniek, and I am joined alongside my co-host of the College Baseball Experience, JP Sponseller. JP, what's going on, my man? We are 2 days out from being in Omaha, 3 days out from first pitch of the 2026 College World Series. How we feeling? How excited are we?
Yeah, I'm pumped. As we kind of talked about before, a little disappointed that we only got one game 3 in those series, but it's that time of the year. We got 8 teams left, Omaha, and I'll be on the road in 2 days. I'm fired up.
Let's go. I fly out tomorrow night. We'll be there Thursday morning for media day and the open practices for all 8 teams. I'm itching to get out there and have some fun. We've got 4 games. Betting lines are up for all 4. Wonderful sight to see today. And then also we'll talk a little bit about futures odds and kind of best angle or best team to hop on as we enter the College World Series here. We'll do that after we touch on the games specifically. JP, though, I mean, our 8 teams in the College World Series, for those that have been living under a rock or are just tuning into the College Baseball Experience for the first time this season because it's the College World Series time of year. In bracket 1, we have West Virginia, Troy, North Carolina, and Ole Miss. In bracket 2, we have Oklahoma, Alabama, Texas, and Georgia. SEC sets an all-time conference record for 5 representatives of the 8 teams in Omaha. We have Troy out of the Sun Belt, West Virginia out of the Big 12. North Carolina avoids like the first time ACC didn't get a team into Omaha for the last 20-something years. So huge of the Tar Heels to get a Game 3 over USC. That victory in Game 3 was the only Game 3 we saw in the Super Regional round, JP. Biggest takeaways? Who was most impressive last weekend? Who disappointed you in the Super Regional round? Just kind of a couple of takeaways from you.
That's a lot.
I know.
I do feel like one of my biggest takeaways and biggest letdowns in one Super Regional was Auburn getting swept 0-2 in their own ballpark back-to-back years in Super Regionals was disappointing. I did feel like this was the year for them. And on the flip side of that, biggest takeaway, Ole Miss is for real. And they're hot. I mean, they're 5-0 on the road in the postseason. And it's funny, actually, like I had Hayden Federico on the podcast, and he was talking about how crazy like the Nebraska atmosphere was, like even comparative to places in the SEC. He said it was up there, like crowd wise. And it's just like they're going to these big time atmospheres and getting it done. It just kind of shows how hot they are.
I agree. And Auburn both games set attendance records at Plainsman Park. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I mean, obviously, Georgia and Mississippi State was fireworks. I think anyone that watched that super regional kind of wishes that we maybe got to see both of those teams in Omaha. But
yeah,
it's how it works out. And those games were awesome, back and forth. Literally, both games could have gone either way. I thought the public kind of got robbed that there was not a game 3 in that series. It just felt like it should have happened. And
those two games, just how I typically describe those baseball games are blitzkriegs, where it's just an offensive slaughterfest. Guys are hitting home runs left and right. It's blitzkrieg. We're dropping bombs everywhere.
Yeah, no doubt. And then Texas, like Oregon's a good team, and I've doubted them at times, and they have proven to be competitive every single time. And they looked super competitive in both of those games this weekend. I think Texas, it showed me a lot about how good Texas is, but also how they can perform when their back's up against the wall a little bit. Not to say that their back was up against the wall being down in game 2, but I mean, they showed that they can come back in games and kind of be in that vulnerable spot and still perform well.
Yeah, Texas, Dylan Volantis in the first game, I think he threw 6 innings and stranded 13 runners on base. Unbelievable. Yeah, but I mean, he was working around traffic the entire first game. And then the second game, Oregon took a lead. And Texas needed a late rally and a game-winning hit in the bottom of the 8th to win that thing.
Yeah, I said on our show earlier, it felt like at a certain point, Dylan Volantis was kind of just like toying with the Oregon hitter. Like he just wanted some action. He would walk a guy or get a couple guys on just so he could get a couple big punch outs and fire up the crowd. But no, he's scary on Fridays, and that's what this matchup against Texas and Georgia, which we'll talk about in a minute, is going to be awesome.
Yeah, and then the team that impressed me the most, JP, I'll be honest, was Oklahoma.
That's what I was going to get to.
I knew you were working your way over there, and I was like, they were number 1 for me. But go ahead.
No doubt. I was kind of trying to work my way around once I started hitting a few different teams. But no, I mean, both Corey and Cole on our show were both on Oklahoma this weekend. And just because they're the hot team, they took out Georgia Tech, hot bats. Yeah. And I was like, well, dude, so is Kansas. Like they just swept the Big 12 tournament, beat Arkansas twice. Like you could make that argument on the flip side. And I was all over the Jayhawks, and Oklahoma didn't even give them an opportunity to. I mean, that Hoagland Ballpark was a lot quieter than it was regional weekend. And I don't want to steal your term that you used earlier on 11.7. So I'll try to think of a different one. I did steal it on our show earlier.
Help me out. I'm blank.
They literally pantsed them in 2 games.
Yeah.
They just pantsed them in their own ballpark.
Hilarious. Yeah.
So yeah, that was super impressive.
Yeah. Ben gave me a compliment for using that one. That was literally me struggling to find an adjective of how to describe it. And I just said they got pantsed. Yeah. I mean, Kansas, it looked like they didn't show up. It was that much of a domination by Oklahoma. Cord Rager, their Friday night ace, who's, turned into the Friday night ace in the middle of the year as a freshman, was utterly dominant against a really good Kansas lineup that was putting up runs left and right against Arkansas in 2 games last weekend. You mentioned it, the Big 12 tournament too. Yeah, Oklahoma was the most important, impressive team to me. I don't know if I'm classifying it as disappointing, but I expected a little bit more out of Cal Poly. I am just surprised that they were railroaded in both games against West Virginia. I know that atmosphere was probably the most vicious and rowdy that they've seen all season long, but I did not expect 2 shellackings back to back, and that's what we got. And West Virginia is absolutely rolling entering the NCAA tournament. Troy's atmosphere was incredible as they hosted Little Rock in a super regional. And, they dressed up game one with a couple of late Jay Boroff home runs. And then in game two, their pitching really flexed itself. They were able to throw everybody that they wanted in that one. Tommy Egan had a really nice outing in game two. North Carolina, USC, that was the game three that we saw. And, Andrew Johnson for USC was huge. Game one in relief. Game two, game three, he started that game. But Jason DeCaro kind of won the series, I think, for North Carolina, saving the bullpen with a game two complete game shutout. The Tar Heels ace.
Not to cut you off, Johnson not only started, but worked into the 7th, 8th inning. That was some balls. If to talk about to close out a game Friday and then come back and do that, put his team in position to win. At the end of the day,
he threw 100 and what was it? 120, 150 in the College Station Regional last weekend, and this weekend he came out and relieved game one and went into the 8th inning in game three. And it's holy shit.
It's awesome.
And then Alabama, again, kind of non-competitive series there in Tuscaloosa. And, I think they continue to fly under the radar / dominate. It's hard to explain because it's they haven't really been pushed outside of the one game against Oklahoma State where the Pokes came back late in the final couple of innings to force extra innings, and Alabama just quickly hit a 3-run tank to gain the lead back. JP.
Yeah, they're one of those teams, as I tried to explain it earlier, they simply just handle business. Outside of Justin LeBron, Tyler Fay, who I actually don't think is talked about enough, but outside of those two, not a real superstar-filled team. They never do anything to really, really impress you or wow you when you walk away from watching them. I haven't seen them in person or watched a ton of them, but that's just my opinion. And they just simply handle business, and they really have all year. And just another tip, in this matchup, they went on the road and beat Oklahoma 2 out of 3. So, I think it's one of they've sneakily been in the top 10 for the back half of this entire year, and they haven't really got the respect that they probably deserve, just because they haven't really put up any fireworks. They just handle business, like I said.
Yeah. I think that's a perfect way of putting it. And we'll get deeper into the 8 teams as we talk a little bit about each matchup, but we wanted to kind of paint the picture of how each team got there and give a little bit of analysis before we jump into things. And we'll do so on the other side of this quick break. But I want to talk to everybody about the World Cup that's beginning on Thursday. The Premier League Gambling Podcast is now rebranded as the World Cup Gambling Podcast. Group previews and daily picks for the World Cup every single day. Plus, they're doing a World Cup Survivor Pool. It's a $25 entry, and the winner takes all over at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/splash. Use the promo code SGPN for $20 in quick pick entries. No deposit is required. And the college baseball experience is also brought to you by Kalshi. They are giving away $1 million, and all you have to do is pick the winner of the World Cup. If you get it right, you split the pot with all of the other winners. Plus, you'll also get a shot at winning tickets to the World Cup finals. No trade necessary to enter. New Kalshi customers get $10 when they use the promo code SGPN. That is Kalshi, Kalshi. Promo code SGPN. And we are also brought to you by Rhythm. Rhythm is your official data tool for dominating the NBA, MLB, WNBA, golf, and the World Cup. Let Rhythm's models help you cash in or build your own to dominate the books. Get your 7-day free trial today to tail their models or build your own. Are you looking to go premium? Use the promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use the promo code SGPN25. And we are back here on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, the college baseball experience, running through the College World Series, previewing, the entire event in Omaha, but also picking each first round game, both on Friday and both on Saturday. Myself, Noah Bieniek, joined alongside JP Sponseller, and we're going to do this thing. We're running through these 8 teams, these 4 first round games, and then we'll kind of like do a quick scan of the futures market at the end and give out our favorite value play there. But the first game that we will see in Omaha is Friday, 2 Eastern, 1 Central, first pitch. West Virginia is minus 210 against the Troy Trojans, plus 160. Again, media day Thursday, so we don't necessarily know for sure who's throwing, but I do have a good hunch that we're going to see Chance and Cole for West Virginia. I don't have a whole lot of faith in the Mountaineers moving up Maxiell after a year coming off of Tommy John, and also bicep, tightness / cramps that he dealt with. I think it was in the regional weekend. So I do think that it'll be Chance and Cole, who pitched excellently against Cal Poly. And then for Troy, I think it's going to be their left-hander, Benjamin Stubbs. JP, West Virginia rakes against left-handed hitting. They hit something like 327, 945 OPS against Southpaws this season. This is an offense that when I picture how you win in Omaha, you need to create runs in different ways, manufacture runs in a multitude of styles. West Virginia fits that kind of description for me a lot. And like I said, I think it's a good matchup against the potential starter from Troy against Dub V. I'm going to go Mountaineers here. I'm hopeful that the crowd's going to show up for West Virginia. I'm excited for what it could be. And I do think that if they show up, that will make a little bit more of a difference than the Troy crowd. Do I think it's going to be like the entire bowl like we've seen other fan bases? No, not necessarily. But of the 20,000, I do think we could probably see 10,000 West Virginia, 1,500, 2,000 Troy, and then probably 12,000 Omaha natives. That's my handicap here. JP, how about you?
Yeah, I'm also on the Mountaineers here as well. We were talking on the show. Cole has West Virginia in the national championship. So
let's go.
We were talking a little bit just about how this team could sneakily make some serious noise. In this matchup specific, are we going to get into potential like 1-0 matchups or no? Or we just
we could talk hypotheticals in that futures part of the pod too.
Okay, yeah. So I'll hint at it now, but obviously, like the more talented of the two arms is Maxiell, and if he's going in the 1-0 game, say they beat Troy against North Carolina and Ole Miss, just who have really good arms, but also have offenses that have gone quiet at times. So I just think if Maxiell's on, they have a serious. They'll be at an opportunity to be in that ball game, and when you can go 2-0, you got a serious shot at playing for a natty. But to this game, I think the one thing that does make it interesting is when you see the mid majors not have success in Omaha, it's often when they get overpowered by one of these high velo, just really, really talented high draft pick arms. And Chance and Cole's really good, but correct me if I'm wrong, he does not have he doesn't throw that hard or have lights out stuff.
Yeah, he sits 88. He's got off speed, like a nice changeup, good breaking ball, but the fastball won't overpower Troy's lineup. I do agree with you there.
That and just playing in the AAC, not that the Sun Belt now is better than the conference that I played in, but it's just those are kind of like the Friday, Saturday guys that you see in conferences like that are not necessarily, and you do see your guys that bump it up in velo, no doubt, but oftentimes it's that crafty guy that's around 88, 90. So that's the one thing that's interesting is as hot as those bats have been. I mean, I think it's going to be a pitcher that they can handle in Chance and Cole. So I'm predicting an over in that one whenever that line comes out, especially just because it's the first game in Omaha and it's always going to like the line's usually pretty low just because of that ballpark. So I don't know. I could see both offenses putting up some runs in that game.
Okay. So my favorite pick's going to be West Virginia on the run line whenever that drops, -1.5, or if it's 2.5 at plus money, I would consider it. I do think that West Virginia may just continue to buzzsaw their way through game one here like they did against Cal Poly. I just think it's a really nice matchup against the Southpaw starter. You mentioned Troy's offense. I'm not ruling them out by any means. I just wonder if they can keep up / stay in this game against West Virginia here. So, over could be interesting. I think I phrased it on the Sports Gambling Podcast show that I did today. Anything like 10.5, I was looking for under. Was it this game or no? I think I said that Ole Miss, North Carolina. Anyways,
Ole Miss, North Carolina, definitely under 10.5. Yes, no doubt. This one, I don't know. I could just what you said, like West Virginia, their offense is really dynamic and they can score in a lot of different ways. And it's like 10.5. They could score that themselves potentially in this game. Yeah. Who knows? So
I agree. Thinking about it now, I like that over too. So West Virginia run line and over in that first game. Game 2, Friday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, first pitch, 6 Central, where we will be at in Omaha. North Carolina is -160 on the money line. Ole Miss is +124. Here's my expected pitching matchup. If I were to project it, Hunter Elliott. I mean, Ole Miss.
No doubt.
I mean, 2022, 2025, 2026. He does not have a loss on his record in the postseason. So I think you're going to ride with the guy who's brought you, even if he's not necessarily the best stuff-wise or he doesn't have the best ERA in that starting rotation. I think he's going to get the ball. He didn't even get out of the 4th inning against Auburn. I just think that he even reaffirms us in saying that this is probably a bounce-back outing in Omaha, and it's a clean, fresh bullpen for Ole Miss this weekend. I think that they will put their best foot forward in keeping this game low scoring. And for North Carolina, I think they slide up Jason DeCaro a day. After throwing Saturday last weekend in game 2 of the Super Regional, I think they slide their ace up a day and value winning the first game to stay 1-0 and in the winner's bracket of Omaha, because we see that every year. These teams really do sometimes push all their chips in just to stay in the right side of the bracket here. So I do think it'll be Jason DeCaro.
I do think seeing Cole Glauber step up on that Sunday game also makes you feel a little bit more confident in potentially starting him again, or I don't know, just makes you feel more confident about bumping DeCaro up in that spot.
Yeah, Caden Glauber was excellent. We mentioned Andrew Johnson.
Glauber, my bad.
And no, you're good. And we mentioned Andrew Johnson in game 3. Glauber was great in game 3 too. Glauber does give him a little bit of flexibility. I think it would be interesting because Ryan Lynch has been very good for him all year long, but that might be a consideration if they want to go Glauber in a start rather than Ryan Lynch. I don't know for game 2, but whoever's unused there will start on Sunday.
I was more saying just for them to make a move. I think seeing that outing out of a freshman just gives you more confidence that, because whenever you make a move, it's not just that move, it's whatever happens behind it. And I'm just saying, if they were to make a move, I think it gives them more options knowing that they can really trust the freshman Glauber after last week's performance.
1,000%. Yeah, I think he got awarded some freshman pitcher of the year. It might have been from Perfect Game because NCBWA gave it to Sam Cozart, which
Yeah.
I think that's also a good decision. Both of those guys were outstanding this year as freshman arms. But yeah, like the handicap with DeCaro on the mound, my just how pitcher mentality is, and some days you have your A+ stuff. Some days you're kind of laboring a little bit, but you're good. And then some days you don't have it. Like it's really kind of 33%, 33%, 33%. After a complete game shutout, I'll take my odds in the guy that didn't get past the fourth inning rather than the guy that went a full 9 and threw 100+ in that game and then coming back on 1 day less rest. So I think Ole Miss is one of my favorite bets of day one, or like round one of the first 4 games. They opened plus 130 on the money line. They've come down to plus 124. I think it probably should come down a little bit more. I just don't think that North Carolina's offense will run away at all. This is going to be a close knit game throughout. And like I said, both pitching staffs are full strength, and it should be all hands on deck, JP.
Yeah, no, and also with Hunter Elliott, like, yes, he didn't make it out of the 4th inning, but he also, I mean, he pitched his ass off. Like, he competed his ass off when he did not have his put away or his best stuff. So they ended up winning the game. Like, he literally gives them an opportunity to win the game almost every time he's out there, and especially in the postseason, he steps it up a notch. So I don't think you can, like, especially with the way this game's priced, I don't think you can bet North Carolina in this game. Like, I don't care if they bump up DeCaro or not, even after a shutout performance. And you kind of pulled a nugget out of what I always love to say as far as baseball evening out a little bit. It was my scenario for picking Mississippi State too, with Georgia being 4-0 against them, ended up going 6-0. But yeah, I like Ole Miss here with Elliott on the bump. Their bullpen has been great, and they've just, not to mention, it's like, I looked into their numbers. I know we've been big on saying that they rely on the long ball and they strike out a ton. I think that's really just a few guys though, and maybe half the lineup. Like, Federico's hitting 300 with only 30 strikeouts, and like, he's a contact, put the ball in play type of bat. So I do think they have a little bit more balance than what I've given them credit for. But they're just getting the hit in the right spot when they need to right now. And I don't think you can go against that. And North Carolina was on the ropes a little bit. So I'm also on Ole Miss in this game.
Let's go. Yeah, I'll add to that too. Is like, I loved the move they had Braden Randall reinsert into the lineup. That's a guy who's not necessarily going to give you a ton of power. He packs a punch a little bit, but he's a bat to ball contact hitter. And they put him in the lineup, and he came up with 3 huge plate appearances in both games against Auburn. The first game, he had both RBIs on just 2 little stick the bat on the ball hits through the infield. One was against the shift, and they gained 2 runs early in that game against Auburn, and were able to kind of control that game strip throughout that game and kind of throughout the series. So,
which we said Auburn was probably going to do more of than them, and that didn't work.
Dude, Auburn left so many guys on base.
Yeah,
so many. They didn't get the clutch inning, and Ole Miss did. That's baseball for you. That's baseball.
Yeah, very glad that I got that plus 2,000 to win it all on Ole Miss.
Great call, dude.
Last weekend, that's for sure.
Great call. We are going to talk Saturday's games on the flip side of this, and also give you our outlook on the futures portfolio, or like if you're looking to add something. I know Bennett has sniffed out that Ole Miss position that JP gave out last week. And then, I'll mention what I did today on the Sports Gambling Podcast after this. But first, I want to talk to everybody about Underdog. And Underdog right now, if the U.S. men's national team wins it all, Underdog is giving away $25 million to users who played during the Cup. That means 25 people will each walk away with $1 million. Everyone who makes at least one entry on Underdog through the end of the Cup is entered. No opt-in, no strings. Just make your picks and get in on the action. Underdog has great payouts. 2-pick entries pay 3.5x. 3-pick entries now pay 6.5x your entry fee. And there's also usually every weekend they've had strikeout player projections for college baseball. It's something that I'll be looking to get an edge on during the College World Series. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds. When you sign up with the promo code TCESGPN, that is play $5, get $50 in bonus funds with the promo code TCESGPN with Underdog. And SGPN is also brought to you by Circa and the greatest NFL handicapping contest that is back and better than ever because they have $30 million in guaranteed prizes. We're talking about $20 million just for Circa Survivor alone, $6 million for Circa Million, and $4 million for the Grandissimo. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere. Circa Sportsbook now takes Bitcoin. Head to footballcontest.com and use promo code SGPN to get $50 off your proxy fees. And you get 15% off your stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15 for contest weekend. That is promo code SGP15 if you're looking to stay at Circa during contest weekend. And we're back here on the College Baseball Experience. Myself, Noah Bieniek, joined alongside JP Sponseller. And JP, the Underdog promo giveaway is really enticing, but that relies on our U.S. soccer team winning the World Cup. And I just don't know how high our odds in doing that are. I don't know how much you're a soccer guy. I'm not a soccer guy. The only time I watch football is during the World Cup, but this year the World Cup is during the College World Series. So there's absolutely no chance that I'll be tuned in simultaneously. And I doubt the same thing for you, but how interested on the scale of like 0 to 10 are you in the World Cup?
Yeah, this year, probably 0. Considering that it's taking place. Now, don't get me wrong, in between the week, may I watch a game or two? No doubt. I feel like it's usually landed in like July, August, which is typically kind of the dead period of sports. It's the dog days of,
now
I guess it's
to
usually right after the All-Star
NHL,
break.
NBA, College World Series, MLB. Like, how dumb? What are we doing?
But yeah, I'm not a big soccer guy at all. I love a good excuse to throw on some red, white, and blue and cheer on the USA, though. So anytime that happens and I got nothing to do, I am always down for that. So I would not be shocked if I catch a game or two here, but it is definitely not on my priority list this year.
I'm the same way. And it's even more an excuse if it's like 3 a.m. and you can throw on a U.S. game or whatever. So, yeah, Olympics, World Cup, anything U.S., red, white, and blue, stars and stripes, I'm in. But you guys chose the wrong time of the year for all of this. So, but yeah, if you are a listener out there and you're interested in the World Cup, check out the World Cup Gambling Podcast or just the Sports Gambling Podcast. They'll be following that throughout the entirety of the event. I think it's like 5 weeks long. But College World Series, we've got entertaining baseball for the total of 11 days. We're going to enjoy the heck out of it down there in Omaha in person, JP. And how about this one? Oklahoma and Alabama. This was not on my bracket of predictions, but, Alabama has kind of waltzed right into the College World Series here, hosted 4-seed St. John's in a super regional, took care of business there. Won their regional in 3 games at home the first weekend of the NCAA tournament. And Oklahoma, I think they've trekked the toughest path to get to Omaha. I think the tale of both teams and how they got here couldn't be told any differently. Like Oklahoma, you go to Atlanta, you knock off Georgia Tech, the country's best offense this year, one of the best offenses talent-wise that we've seen in college baseball during this century. in the 2000s. But yeah, they go to Atlanta, come back from 8-2, from 7-3 in both of those games, and win. They go to Lawrence and blow out Kansas in both games. It's been super impressive. And Oklahoma minus 110 currently against Alabama at minus 120. I'm going to be on the Sooners here. Again, just the offense, the way they've been swinging it for Oklahoma has eye test, been far and away better than Alabama, in my opinion. I do think that Tyler Fay is a very quality arm. Cord Rager had a huge weekend last weekend. The X factor for me, and where I've kind of been like, I'm in on Oklahoma a little bit, is the outfield defense at this park. I think is going to be an X factor. Just the athleticism and speed that they have in that outfield. You know, all SEC Defensive Player of the Year in center field with Jason Walk. Two very good corner outfielders that are probably center fielders for a lot of teams in the country. That's, you know, one thing that's moved the needle for me in their direction to go along with the power stroke that they've found offensively. You look at the last 14 or 15 games, home runs per game, they would rank second in the country if it was for the entire year. So offensively, they found their groove, JP, and I'm on the Sooners at minus 110 here.
Yeah, just to add on to that, they hit 41% of their total home runs on the year just in the postseason.
Dude,
I don't know.
Dumb.
Yeah. I'd have to find out if that's like their regular 41% of their regular season total, or if 41% of their home runs now happened. There's no way that's the case. But anyway, yeah, I don't. This is similar to Ole Miss in a way for me. I just don't think you can bet against Oklahoma right now. They walked into Lawrence and blew my doors off this past weekend. That's for sure. And yeah, Tyler Fay's coming off a really, really good outing. Cord Rager, freshman, so like stepped up last week. Can he do it again? Big question mark. And again, like I think it's Oklahoma's the flashy hot team right now, but Alabama, like, could they just walk in there, have a Fay shove and handle business once again in a close ball game? Absolutely. But I think I'm also just going to have to ride the Sooners here after being on Kansas this past weekend in game one and just made me miserable. They did cash me an over in game two, which was nice. They literally cashed it alone, I think. But yeah, I'm on the Sooners as well. I hate to not have any variance here for show purposes, but looks like we're going to ride and die together this weekend, at least for the opening round.
Yeah, it a little group think, I guess. After all, we do talk to each other almost every weekend, giving out picks on college baseball. We share some similar thoughts, and we might on this next team too, because I think we both picked them as our preseason national champions, and that was Texas. Now, I do think that this matchup between Texas and Georgia are very similar to the matchup last year between LSU and Arkansas. You had the two premier, SEC teams entering the College World Series, where everybody's picking them to win the national championship. Yet they're playing each other in game one on Saturday night in the premier matchup of the opening round. It'll be great entertainment. Is that optimal for the bracket and like how you want the finals to be? If you want it to be the best two teams, that's a conversation for a different time. I prefer, what we've got right now. If every top seeded team won their game, we wouldn't be looking at, this side looks a little bit weaker than the other. But, those teams did some damage, and they should be rewarded for the path that they've created for themselves. So off topic there, but we have Texas, Georgia, and it's going to create a great game one on Saturday night. The pitching matchup that I'm expecting is the sophomore southpaw Dylan Volantis for Texas, and for Georgia, I'm expecting it to be Joey Volchko just because I don't think that they'll reinvent the wheel. He's been their game one starter all season long. He has kind of wavered, in my opinion, here the last couple of starts. But you know, I think that both Schloss and Wes Johnson have already shown the aggressiveness with their pitching staffs throughout the NCAA tournament. You saw Luke Jones come in relief in the regional against UC Santa Barbara, and then in relief in game one against Oregon when they really didn't need him. And then you saw Dylan Vigu come in relief of Joey Volchko in game one when Georgia had come back against Mississippi State and tied it up. So I do think that both teams are going to go all out here, and it's really going to be who gains an early lead, is able to control that game script, and throw some of their best arms with a lead. That'll determine who wins this game. And for me, who or what sets which team up to gain an early lead? It's Dylan Volantis, the lefty for Texas, the California curveball. And he's coming off a game where he didn't have his A-plus stuff, but still gave him length, durability. That's an arm that'll get you through 5-6 innings if you need him to. And then they have a plethora of arms that they trust. Do they have depth in the bullpen? We've seen them kind of go to a starter, but in the College World Series, you don't necessarily need depth because you get the built-in off days and they can attack this thing aggressively. I really do think whichever team has an early lead will win the game. I'll take Texas, JP.
Yeah, and I just feel like we were going to be in agreement with the way we've talked about these teams all year and the pitching specifically, and just how much we value pitching in the postseason and in this ballpark specifically. So, Georgia impressed the hell out of me this past weekend, and they are for real. They can swing it. They can. I mean, I know this wasn't the weekend to analyze pitching whatsoever, but they've proven that they can pitch it all year. So hats off to them. But I do think it will be interesting either way here because I think Texas would have the pitching to make it through the losers bracket, and Georgia would have the bats to slug their way through the losers bracket.
Good point.
So could we see this matchup again? Sure, but I'm on the Longhorns here just because of kind of what you said. I think Volantis gives them the opportunity to have a lead going into the 6th or 7th, and from there it just gives Texas options. And that bullpen, at least the guys they rely on, have been really good all year. And Georgia's, I don't know. They've proven me wrong all year, but verdict is still out on some of those arms. I will say Justin Bird, is that his first name?
Yeah.
He impressed me this weekend in game 2. He looked good. So that
Bird
could be
and Brown.
Yeah. Those could be big pieces for them. If they could perform like they did.
That's got to be big too. And then they're probably – do you see a world or a chance for an Aoki relief appearance here? If they go aggressive?
No, just because I think Aoki will play so well as a starter in this ballpark. He's going to get early contact, and I just think you have other guys in a short stint bullpen that you could rely on enough to save Aoki to give you a start at some point this week.
Yeah.
And I think after last week, you owe it to him to get him he might want the ball in a close game, but I think you have Aoki as a starter just from what he's shown compared to some of their other guys as far as length and just consistency and what you're going to get out of him.
That's one of the questions that I cannot wait to ask to anybody, and it's to Wes Johnson. It's what's the role of Caden Aoki in your mind? Describe kind of the factor or the importance he plays for the pitching staff, because I understood what he was doing earlier in the year with him coming in relief in the leverage innings, and it would make perfect sense if they were to do it in the College World Series. But also, he's the most sturdy arm you've got. He provides you the most length out of any of their starting options. So, yeah, I'm interested to see if we get a hint on whether or not they could use Aoki out of the bullpen this week or not. So that's the 4 first round games that we have. JP and I are gonna give our brackets, but I think we should start off with the future outlook. JP, is there a future that you love? I'll buy you a little bit of time because the one that I gave out, you've already given out. On today on the Sports Gambling Podcast, I gave out Ole Miss at plus 800. I think they have the premier pitching to go along with power hitting and kind of a new unlocked situational hitting, timely hitting that they showed off in Auburn. So it's like they are kind of, in stride offensively, and the strength has been the pitching all year long. You saw Taylor Ray be plus last Saturday against the Tigers. Cade Townsend's got, draft status and is a really good arm, and Hunter Elliott, again, does not have a loss to his line in his career in the postseason. So Ole Miss makes sense. It's the left side of the bracket. It is the weaker side of the two, I do believe. And Ole Miss, just because they're a dog in game 1 slightly to North Carolina, I think that's why you're getting that plus 800. I think that's probably a little mispriced. I would have it plus 500. JP, your answer, though, was it Ole Miss, or are you looking somewhere else on the board?
No, I actually had someone reach out to me this week, one of my buddy's dads who listens to our show, and he texted me and asked for futures and different stuff. And I believe he has Georgia and Texas right now, and he was asking me who's my hedge. And I led him to Ole Miss at plus 800. I need to check. He asked me after this past weekend. I wish I would have given him the plus 2,000 before last weekend. But that is the direction I would lead anyone. Imagining that majority of the futures that are out there are probably on Georgia, North Carolina, or Texas that are still alive. So as far as anyone above that, I would lead you to Ole Miss. I said I liked West Virginia's chances to make a run. I don't necessarily know if they should be priced worse than Ole Miss. But
they opened, I think it was plus 450 they opened. Right now I'm seeing on DraftKings plus 750, and that's a little bit more interesting to me.
West Virginia or
West Virginia.
Yeah, I'm saying plus 700 on Fanatics here.
Yeah, they were like 450 or 500. I literally did a podcast 6 hours ago, and they've moved about $2, and it's a little more enticing. I still think Ole Miss is probably your better choice for more value. Yeah, but I do think Ole Miss and West Virginia are really good options if you don't already have those teams and you're looking to add to the portfolio. JP?
Yeah, I think other than that, Oklahoma at plus 1,600. I mean, it's just worth a shot in the dark with how hot they've played that well, and those bats are that hot where it's worth it.
They had the toughest path to get to Omaha. They have a favorable matchup. They are 1-2 against Alabama, and that series was at home. But Oklahoma's been more battle tested entering the College World Series than Alabama, in my opinion. So that would be why I take the Sooners and everything that we've said previously. Then the argument for Oklahoma can be throw everything out the window. We have the Red River Shootout in the 1-0 game on Monday night between Oklahoma and Texas. And Oklahoma would probably enter that game plus 180 or something. But, I mean, we've seen anything happen in rivalry matchups. And from there, I think you're playing with house money with a 16-1 future.
Yeah. So. And, for that game, depending on how they would beat Alabama, and depending on how that would be a good hedge game as far as my Texas future is just single game betting Oklahoma. But
okay. All right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm rambling. My brain's going 14 different directions. It's like on the other side of that, Alabama and Georgia win. It's like how many football only fans would tune in to that matchup just to settle old scores and talk a little shit.
Good
Alabama
point.
and Georgia.
Yeah. I would have that. I mean, we both have that as the losers bracket game, so we have a good chance of getting it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that was very dumb of me saying if they both win because they could both lose and that would still be the matchup.
Oklahoma and Texas could both lose, and that would be the losers bracket too.
Yeah.
So yeah, the right side definitely has some big swingers on that side of the bracket. Let's run through kind of how we're forecasting this thing to go. I don't want to steal the thunder because I let off game by game. JP, the left side of the bracket, walk me through. We already gave out our opening round picks, but what do you think is going to happen in the 1-0 game? Who's getting eliminated first? Who's getting eliminated in that next elimination game? Who's going to be that bracket final in the semifinals? Who will play for the national championship out of the left side of the bracket?
Wow, that's a lot. I'm going to try to get all of that out, but if I remember correctly, what I said earlier on our show, I had West Virginia winning, Ole Miss winning, and then I have Ole Miss going 2-0. I have West Virginia and North Carolina slugging it out. I don't know who comes out of that matchup to face Ole Miss in the final there. But Ole Miss is my national championship contender. And then on the right side, or do you want to go left side before I go right side?
Yeah, I'll go left side real quick. I have West Virginia over Troy. I have Ole Miss over North Carolina. In that losers bracket game, I'll take North Carolina over Troy. In the winners bracket game, I'll go with Ole Miss over West Virginia. I'll take North Carolina over West Virginia in the losers bracket. I think North Carolina steals a game from Ole Miss, and we do get a game 7 out of the left side of the bracket between North Carolina, Ole Miss. And I'll go North Carolina in the final.
Okay.
So right side of the bracket for you.
You got North Carolina getting their get back and getting to the final.
I have them losing game 1 and then running the table through the loser bracket, and they get to Hunter Elliott the second time they see him in game 7 of the regional or of the bracket.
Okay. Right side, I'm still torn on this game 1 here. Yeah, I'll go Sooners, game 1. And then I got Texas. I got Texas beating Oklahoma in the Red River rivalry. And then I got Georgia slugging it out, and I see that rematch in the final again. But I do have Texas in the final, and Texas as my national champion. I am riding it out with the sole team that I bet to win it all in the preseason.
All right.
I can't say my fandom will definitely change once I'm out there, right? Like you get gravitated towards certain fan bases, and I can't say I'm actually rooting for Texas to win a national championship. This is more say how I might see it going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got the Longhorns.
So you have Texas over Ole Miss, just clarifying there.
Yes, sir.
Boom. All right. I think our right side of the brackets were the same. So I had Oklahoma over Alabama. I had Texas over Georgia. In the losers bracket game, I had Georgia over Alabama. I have Texas over Oklahoma in the 1-0 game that Monday night. I have Georgia knocking off Oklahoma in the losers bracket. Georgia getting to that semifinal matchup again with Texas. And I have the Longhorns winning that matchup too. I don't know if Georgia will get one against Texas and their pitching staff. So give me the Longhorns against North Carolina, and I have Texas winning it all over the Tar Heels. that series, the way I have it going, I have Jason DeCaro throwing another game in the bracket, the left bracket. So I'll take Texas in 2.
Okay.
Against UNC.
Yeah,
so
I would. I'd take Texas in 3 against Ole Miss. I think Volantis gets game 1. I think they can hit Riojas, get to or Taylor Rabe shoves it game 2. I think I don't know. They have their traditional three game setup, and Townsend pitches a good fight, but the Longhorns in 3.
Okay. That makes sense. That checks out. I would think that the way that Rabe's looked, he probably comes out of there as a first rounder if it goes that way.
Seriously. For a kid that had like a 5 or 6 ERA last year.
Yeah. And was a midweek starter for the first half of the season.
Yeah.
All right. So we both have Texas. I have Texas in a 2-game sweep. That would give me the possibility of like a Dylan Volantis most outstanding player. Personally, my favorite player on this Texas team is Aiden Robbins. I'll go him as the MOP. Do you have a difference of opinion in the MOP for you if it's Texas?
I mean, I think Volantis or one of these pitchers is going to have to like absolutely shove, or you see Sam Cozart close like 2 or 3 of the games and throw a lot. But it's still hard for a pitcher to get it. I feel like. I mean, you got to go to Mr. Reliable, Mr. Robbins, but I also think a dude who can still make some noise in this ballpark, despite how big it is Carson Tinney. That is a large human, and he can swing it. He's also, I mean, he's going to have the ability, like he's a really good defensive catcher. So just being able to throw a couple dudes out, put his defense on display a little bit. I think he could be a good option as well.
All right. So the value picks, the value bets that we gave out as national champions were Ole Miss and West Virginia. I'll ask you this, JP. If it's Ole Miss winning the national championship, who is their best player during the run? Pitcher or hitter?
See, like for them, I could see it being one of their pitchers with just an outstanding performance in one game, or that closer closing like.
It could be Rabe, dude. In the 1-0 game against Dub V, and then pitching game 2 of the finals or game 1 of the finals.
Rabe, so when they do that, do they consider the entire tournament or just the final series?
Entire tournament, like entire CWS. Just these 8 teams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I could see that. I don't know. Like Becetta's got the power. Becetta and Utermark have the power to hit it out of this park, no question. Like they're going to be able to hit it out. I could see them. Too. Furnace, I could see them coming up in some big time spots with a homer. I could also see. I know I'm naming half their fucking team, but I could also see a kid like Federico when you see coming with some big time knocks, or a kid like what's his name from Murray State who's been there before, played in Omaha before, Dom Decker. I could see it being a guy like that who's just coming up with some 2 RBI, 2 out base hits or something. Yeah.
So Ole Miss, I think I'll say Taylor Rabe. I like the way that paints out, and we saw Cade Anderson win most outstanding player. So it's not like the media wouldn't vote the pitcher only because he's throwing in just 2 games instead of a potential of 5 or 6 that they play in the College World Series. So for West Virginia, to me, I do think it comes down to just the 2 guys at the top of the lineup, Gavin Kelly, Armani Guzman. One of those dudes is just going to turn into Batman while the other one's Robin. Which one's Batman, which one's Robin, I don't know. But both of them, I think, will stuff the stat sheet. And that would be who you need to step up and be MOP if you're going to win a title.
Yeah.
Of the 3 teams that we've not labeled as like best value bet to win a national title or our pick to win a national title, the other 5 teams, what player are you most excited to watch, pitcher, hitter, this weekend?
Gavin Kelly. I don't think the entire baseball world knows about Gavin Kelly yet, and he's a stud. Obviously, people that really follow as many teams as they can, they do know. But there are a lot of people that, and I'm not like, do really know baseball, but only follow the SEC, and that's fine. But they just, those kind of people don't know about Gavin Kelly, and he's a real dude. Also, like, I love the story of Jay Boroff. Kid was hitting 180 before the tournament, and now he's hitting almost like 260, 270 with added 5 or 6 homers. So, like, you love to see if he could carry that over. And then I'll shout out Alabama. We had 3 players on. Luke Vaughn, who's a Cincinnati local kid, played high school ball with Corey, and then Justin LeBron and Will Platner. So always cool to see when you have guests on, watching them play on the highest stage. And then Oklahoma, Dayton Taki. It's another one who like hasn't had a phenomenal year offensively, but is just swinging the shit out of it in the postseason.
A big reason why they're still playing.
Yeah, so always fun to see if they can continue to carry it over.
Yeah, my answer was going to be LeBron. Just you mentioned the SEC fan. I mean, the SEC fan knows the ceiling for LeBron. We haven't necessarily seen it this year. Last year he was good. This year he's kind of steadily declined since his freshman season. That superstar is still in there, and when the lights are brightest, I'm interested if that comes out.
Yeah,
that's I think the biggest game breaker of my bracket. I have Alabama going 2 in barbecue. If he shows up and goes 4 for 7 in their first 2 games, they ain't losing 2 games.
Yeah, no doubt. That's what they're like, the scariest team to either pick for or against right now. Just because what we talked about, like, they never do anything to wow you, but like they just handle business, and they have.
All right, fun show, JP. Anything else you'd like to add before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Other than if you are actually going out to Omaha, definitely hit us up, send me a DM. We'll have a beer or whatever. So yeah, let me know.
So throughout the College World Series, JP and I we're playing it like kind of on the fly. No huddle offense out of us. We're planning on recording like quick 10-minute what happened today, what we think is going to happen tomorrow, picks, and then we'll be posting those on the YouTube channel here as short 10, 15-minute videos. We'll find a spot like outside the stadium or something to record those. If you were here or subscribed or following this YouTube channel last year, you kind of know the deal. And if you weren't, go ahead, click subscribe, like, rate, review, follow wherever, on whatever platform. You can follow JP's podcast, Head First Podcast, at headfirst_pod on social media. You can follow him at JPSpawn_590. You can follow me at NoahB77_, and you can follow the show at TCE on SGPN, because God damn it, you're going to want to, because Moneyline Mac will be in Omaha, guys.
I can't wait to get a beer with Moneyline Mac in Omaha. That is one of the
singular beer doesn't happen with Mac. It is beers.
Plural. I'm hoping, actually. I wonder if he's planning on heading over to Blatt's for McAfee's show, because I planned on doing that Friday. So I'm sure if he's not at Blatt's, he'll be at Rocco's, which is right across the street. So I'll definitely. You'll have to throw us in a group message so we can link up before that Friday game.
I should have done it before, but yes, thanks for letting me know that I need to. And yeah, we will definitely paint the town, or whatever you want to use to describe whatever Mountaineer fans do and whatever we're going to be doing, because we're going to be tailing it.
But yeah, and I know, like, obviously the people listening now know all about Moneyline Mac, but the college baseball world does not. And I didn't get a media credential this year, so that my form of content is I'm going to try to crush the fan scene, and Moneyline Mac is a picture perfect representative of what I'm looking for this weekend. So I'm gonna have to get a hold of him, no doubt, at some point.
Yeah, you, Moneyline Mac, and Hamilton Culpepper is a trio that if I see you three walking down the street, I am
Bad
running
news.
the other way.
I would run in the opposite direction.
All right. Well, that sounds like a show. I cannot wait for that. Trio is excellent. I mean, a man on the street type of content in Omaha from Hammy, from JP, and Mac will be elite. Elite. I can't believe that picture is now in my head. Can't wait. But yeah, this has been the College Baseball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. We'll be back here throughout the College World Series, providing a little bit of content in a variety of ways. But like we said, expect us nightly kind of recapping and giving out some quick picks. This has been the College Baseball Experience. You better start thinking about yours. And we are out of here.